And we're back. People, deluded, I'm back again. Quick question. I know there's copium Arsenal fans. I know there's hope. I know mathematically, as long as there's a chance, we got to fight. We know we lost the City. We know how peak it is. The past brings regrets. The future brings uncertainty. There's no time like the present. In the last 3 years, 4 and counting, technically, we have not seized the present. And I understand everybody's, considering certain things. Me personally, I think City are going to drop points. But I cannot guarantee Arsenal are not going to, which is, again, the margin for error, people. Now, genuinely, some football fans or some Arsenal fans are sitting there and talking about winning this on goal difference. Do you think, yeah, I hear it, clean sheets, but we're not exactly playing to our standard. Let's have it right. All season and since the international break, we've been conceding some cheap goals. Not following runners has been a theme. And again, we need to be getting 3 points, let alone talking about battering teams. Of course, I want to win every game 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-0, people. But we're a long way removed from the first half of the season where we was vexed about shots on target. No, a team having one shot on target. I'm sorry, but if you genuinely believe that we can do this on goal difference, and you're genuinely believing if we could just win games and score about 4 or 5 goals, that's the way to do it, then you're incredibly naive. You're better off hoping that, one, control the controllables. And what I mean by that is, our form doesn't suggest we can do this. We all know we've got Newcastle, West Ham, Fulham, this one, that one. Arsenal win every game. It's more realistic for Arsenal to win every game, take maximum points, and hope City drop points than it is to think that both teams go on a mad run and it's goal difference. Now, by hook or by crook, I don't care how we win the league. If we do win the league, it's not in our hands anymore. And that's where I start feeling a bit disillusioned. And we only have ourselves to blame. Players, you've only got yourself to blame. Mikel Arteta, you've only got yourself to blame. I don't want to keep going over the same things, but we don't actually, in the last 3 years, 4 including now, we actually don't suffer that many lows in terms of losses, but the lows are very low. You had a chance of all of you lot, from the gaffers' tactics to the players. You had a chance of winning a bit of silver at Wembley. You shat the bed. You went out the FA Cup. Champions League, you're still in it. Premier League, several points, you've dropped down points, and it was kind of do or die against Manchester City. And make no mistake, result here, performance there. That was our best performance in a while. And I hope the performance is here to stay and that kickstarts some momentum. But football on the best of days is a results-driven business. And obviously, in this day and age and this current climate, it's a results-driven business, innit? So if you don't get the results, you only have yourself to blame, folks. Like, results are all that matters. We didn't get the 3 points. It doesn't matter if we equipped ourselves against Manchester City. It don't matter if we was better than them or not. We did not get 3 points, and it's a results-driven business. And you're sitting here and thinking to yourself, for whatever reason, we've approached April, statistically a horrible month for us, yeah, which is tired anyway. So we struggle in April anyways. We've had more players, and for whatever reason, we've got more players. We've still got the same landscape. Like Kai Havertz has been injured and whatnot. He's not in the best possible condition. Big up Mascara, but Mascara playing in a position that's not his, even though I back him to do that. Benjamin White's been ran into the ground. There's no Timber. Saka's form's been poor, but there is no Bukayo to call upon. And this is where I say, stop looking at football romantically. Sometimes you have to remove the good, the bad, and just look at what you see in it. And our attack isn't good enough, really. We're still having the same conversations. Is it Gyökeres? Is it Kai Havertz? People wanted Noni to start. And when was the last time Noni scored a goal? And I'm not trying to make this about Noni or scapegoat. I'm just looking at it because I actually think Mikel Arteta wants to do the Liverpool kind of thing where definitely Kai Havertz is not Firmino, but he's the facilitative striker. You've got a Mane and a Salah on other sides. Obviously, Salah is a Premier League legend. Saka is not. That's the closest we get of the 3 to someone that's like that. So, yeah, we ain't got that at this moment. The left-hand side, another year has been shoddy. We're still debating who's up front. We don't really see anything different in central midfield. We know we're a good defensive side, although that's kind of dropped off. We know that we have this ability to shoot ourselves in the foot. There's a lot of the times we're our own best friends and worst enemies. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I don't think we've learned anything new, unfortunately, about our boys and our manager this season. With my eyes, I haven't seen anything new. So, yeah, man, we're at where we're at, people. So, yeah, big up you lot. Smash the like button if you haven't and let me know your thoughts. Big up World Boss. As the man said, slap the likes, people, or peeps. Unlike our players, DG gives everything for this channel. Burkamp settings, always on form. Appreciative to you. Boyer said, start the stream. Discussions must be had. Arsenal has a 10% chance of pulling this off. City could be unbeaten for the remainder of the season. And even if they drop points, they will outscore us. The only way we win the title is to win every game. We have to hope they drop points. I don't think they're dropping points against Burnley. By God's grace, that's the case. But it's too little too late when it was in your hands. And I think obviously, this might be the period. Obviously, like people look back at the season, and since the international break from the cup final to now, we've run out of steam, we've run out of momentum. We lost against City, but that was our best performance. People might look at that, but you could argue Wolves away, Liverpool away, Liverpool at home, Manchester United at home, Chelsea away again. In fact, Stamford Bridge, the Etihad, and Anfield once again. Bournemouth comes to mind. There's Brentford comes to mind. There's several opportunities. Sunderland comes to mind. Now, there's times where we've been in a better moment than others. I know you can't win them all, but again, fine margins. And this is what I mean by we're a good team, but we need to see how City beat us. We need to be on that side. Or when we went out against PSG, we need to be on that side where possession, all these things, it's all even, but the fine margins are on us. When have we ever been on the fine margins? When has a game been sink or swim and we've actually swam? That's just the harsh reality of it. So until something changes, we're going to have a good season generally. We're going to have good moments. We're going to win. We're going to have fluctuating top 6 records. We're not going to lose that many games, but those 3-4 games or those moments that make or break whether you win a Prem, we're going to keep discussing the same things. And we've only got ourselves collectively to blame, man. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Big up yourself, world boss, man. I think City will drop a bag of points, but the question is, can we win the last 5? That I'm not sure about. When I should be sure. You've got to do it. Like Newcastle away, I know it's not the same Newcastle side, but Eddie Howe and them players need 3 points. They're a difficult outfit. So we just need to focus on us. And then obviously there's going to be a bit of potential anxiety at the Emirates and with fans because of the obvious. And City have a game against Burnley, which they're going to annihilate them. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but it is what it is, man. Like, and City have momentum at any point. This is the one point. I know it's not the same City side. Big up to Pep for getting their act together and all of the players and all of those kind of things, yeah. But maybe in the first half of the season, a quarter of the way of the season, the turn of the year, maybe just before the last international break, you could say these kind of things. City are in a fantastic moment in terms of momentum. And in terms of where you look at them, you can't really, football's a difficult game and a weird game to predict, but you can't see them dropping points. You genuinely can't. You can't. I'm not even talking about looking on paper, because if you support Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, City, Chelsea, the games that you've probably dropped points on paper, where you've dropped points on paper, those games were probably where you didn't expect that to be the case, innit? And we haven't learned our lessons. And what I mean by that, I know it's easy for me to sit there and say, but Wolves at home, one of our toughest games, regardless of where they are in the league table and where we are. Yeah, one of our toughest games this season for whatever reason. They equalised. We bust case. We got 3 points. We should have bared that in mind when we went over there. And you saw what happened when we was 2 goals up. And I do think I'm being a bit harsh on when we lost against Aston Villa at their place and obviously Sunderland. But when I remove the emotions and whether I'm being harsh or not, at the time we was one of the, and we still are, to be fair, one of the best defensive sides in Europe. You were 2-1 up with 15 minutes to go. Away from home, you have to take points in that regards. Villa, yeah, there was injuries and climate and all of those kind of things, but you was a minute literally away from grabbing a point. You lost them, and there's several points across the season where, had you put the points on the board, obviously there'd be an element of doom and gloom and frustration against City, but you'd have a buffer in it. You don't have that. This is ideal scenario syndrome. This is what we've been talking about the last 3-4 years and counting. So. Yeah, man, it's jarring, bro. It's jarring. It's just for me as well. If I had to really say, the performance is obviously until the season is done, it's not too little, too late. But the performance, keyword, not the result. And obviously, no matter how, I don't think we was amazing. But like as I said, during the international break, past the international break to now, that is our best performance we have put in. But the result. And then even if you want to microscope the performance, we all know we played well. But at the end of the day, football is a simple game. You need to keep them at the back of your net. You need to put them in your opponents. Could we have defended better for those 2 goals? Yes. And even if you don't believe that, did we concede more than City on the day? Yes. Did we score more than City? No. So that's it. No matter how much we wrap football up, people, I always say this to you. I'm just going to say random managers: Arsene Wenger, Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, Jose Mourinho, Sir Alex Ferguson, Conte, Ranieri. You get where I'm going. Very different managers with different philosophies. What one manager thinks is the most important philosophy that his team needs, the next man might think is the least. But it doesn't matter if you want to be mad attacking, mad defensive, whatever these managers think is the most or least important. There's an element of you can put the team in your image however you want. Balls at the back of your net, balls in the back of the opponents. And we haven't always adhered to this thing. So it is what it is. Marcel, I can see you've sent a super chat. Before I read it, no doubt you're saying some absolute bullshit, but appreciate your support. Appreciate the super chat. Let's see what this idiot has said. I still got some of that 420 Gooner pack left over. Look at this fool, bro. Oh man. So yeah, you lost it with you lost it with the draws and the loss versus Bournemouth. No shame in playing well, losing to City. That's why you need to keep them at distance. City know how to bounce back from L's, lock in and wing. Exactly. And this is where we've hit a buffer because we've been ticking along. There's been some good performances, some shoddy ones, all those kind of things. But we've been like this season. There's been that. City have been by their own standards down here, and then they've just clicked into gear. And like, as I said, we're here. They were down here. They've gone up the levels and they're swimming. And we've been like this and taking a dip at the worst possible time, in which you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't want to hear nothing about injury. Of course, for the football fans out there, yes, we can have conversations. And when we're done with the banter stuff, we can have logical conversations about injuries, about ref decisions, about this, about that. I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear it. Because even with not having Timber, not having Saka, you've put in let's be honest, one of your best performances tactically from the gaffer as well in the first half, man for man marking that you've given in a long while. And even that, a lot of people want to talk about Arsenal fans and you shouldn't boo the team. Yes, you should. In the same way you should praise. What's the same thing? What's the consistencies in our last two games? My word, domestically, we've been horrible recently. But we lost to Bournemouth, right? We lost to Manchester City, right? The only difference between those losses, beyond what I'm about to say, is obviously one came at the Emirates, one was away from home. Everyone applauded you against City. Yeah, we lost, but they applauded the performance. Can't fault that. It's back to the drawing boards tactically type of thing. Bournemouth, it weren't there. So it's too little too late. So I understand. And this is why I say you have to compartmentalize things, because a lot of the fallout is because of a lot of things, coming into that period. So I make you right, man. I make you right. DG, you reckon the pressure is kind of off now as everyone expects City to win the league now? Perhaps that will work in players' favour pressure-wise? No. You play for Arsenal Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in the land. You haven't won a trophy under Mikel Arteta. You fucked it up yourself. We haven't won the Premier League in whatever years. Every game's a cup final, as they say in the Premier League. No, because there is still that element of you need to perform. And because the obvious is, man just need to win games and hope for the best. So there is going to be that pressure. I understand people think it's gone with City. I'll be honest, big up our players, but I really don't care if you're feeling pressure or not feeling pressure, or the pressure's on or the pressure's off. Win the games, bro. Like, football's a simple game. That's where I'm at. Just win the games, bro. Put your best foot forward, win the games. Whatever the talking points are, the talking points. There's too much of that now. Because you lot have, obviously, it don't matter where you are in the league, or whatever your team's been fighting for. Everybody knows once you get from first 10 games of a Premier League season, yeah, you need to get fitness. You kind of give a luxury. It's just about getting points on the board, early momentum. Once you're from the 10-game period to the end of the year, it's just about getting to the end of the year, whether you want to stay in the division, win the Premier League, qualify for Europe, whatever, you're still in with a fighting chance. The turn of the year, you need to get through that festive period, or as the festive period comes to a close, like all through January, February, where everything's just mad. And skipping through, once you get to April and May, it's just you just got to get the job done. So yeah, man. I think even the most positive Arsenal fans are realizing this falls at the gaffer's feet. Hopefully get it done. You can't blame Arteta for everything, but unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast. This is what football is. It's the manager. Like, it has to go with them. Realistically, it's easier to get rid of one man if that's what people want to talk about, than get rid of others. Everything good or bad is about this football club, and has been there in the last few years, is because of the manager. And I keep saying we shoot ourselves in the foot. You had a fantastic opportunity to win the league last season. I think Mikel Arteta and those above you, based on that transfer market, that was shoddy. Klopp went to war. He managed to, he lost the war against Pep. I don't quite think statistically it was a rivalry, even though, Klopp probably, I'm surprised Klopp's even still got a full set of hair. But he managed to get it over the line. Cool, he effed off. Slot came in. We know Liverpool are falling out now. Slot came in. There's an element of when something falls on your lap, you just need to get this thing done. Showed an inability to do that. This is the worst City side under Pep Guardiola. Obviously, when he came in, and excluding the rebuild, when they fully established themselves, 3-peats, 4-peats, trebles, Centurions, whatever have you, this is the worst City side. And they could still get a treble, a domestic double. They've still, at one moment, they've seized the present. At some point, they've got over the Real Madrid thing, mashed us up twice, beat Liverpool, beat Chelsea, momentum, tactics, individuals, collectives. It's all happening. And they probably didn't think they'd win the league. They probably thought, even Arsenal, on my days, like, even the serial bottlers, quote unquote, can't F this up. But once it fell into their lap, done. Sink or swim. They came. What did you see? Both teams and players were saying, managers were saying it's a must win, all of that kind of jazz. But I forget my team for a sec. Whatever way you shape it, whatever happens, City said, like Pep and all them City players said, we have to win. If we win, the title challenge is alive. If we lose, it's done. They needed to win, they did it. When have we said that about us in these moments? And again, check out the video, the live stream I did yesterday and the video I brought. I don't want to keep talking about the same things, but Arteta, you've not reinvented yourself. If we want to get to a scenario that we've never been before, everyone's got to be something they haven't been. What players consistently have been a different animal? What have we learned new about the gaffer positively? Because you've been here and shown me great defensive metrics. There was so long ago, but you even showed me you can coach attacking football. This year we ain't lost. We haven't done anything. Probably in the last 2 years, we've just been existing. We've not seized the opportunity. And as much as it hurts, and obviously you want to win a league title and banter and all of that, it's you players. Because some of you, one day, by God's grace, you win something at Arsenal. Some of you might go elsewhere and win. Some of you might even be lucky enough, you know, the Kais, the Rices, you lot have won stuff away from this football club. Some of you might have even been there when we won the FA Cup. But as a collective bunch of players, you've not, and a brotherhood, you've not got anything in history. Some of you players are some of the best we've had during this Emirates era. As a collective squad in the last 4 years, you are some of the best squads we've had in the Emirates era. None of you are going on the walls. Unless you're Max Dowman, Miles Lewis, Skelly, Bakayo, Saka, Wanyeri, the Halem boys, because obviously academy and all of that, you're not going on the walls. You've made no history. Rob Holding's a bigger legend and in bigger folklore than a lot of you. I might remember Saliba and Gabriel, great centre-halves individually, great centre-halves as a partnership. You've got nothing. When I say Rob Holding, when you get away from the hair transplant and, you know, the amount of clangers he dropped, eventually you remember, Wembley stood up. And that's what the opportunity was to do this season. And you had 4 opportunities. You're now down, fucked it up in the League Cup final. Got to the League Cup final, fucked it up. FA Cup, you're out. Champions League, you're still in it. I hope for a miracle. I think the players have to, I think Arteta has to win me the Premier League. The players have to win me the Champions League. I do think we can cope tactically like we did against PSG. We can cope tactically, but all them other teams are very good tactically and they've got some very good individuals, and how good their individuals is kind of irrelevant. They're all purring. They're all in form. I look at mine, I don't know. So yeah, Premier League, you have, I give it a 10% chance, but you, again, I do think City are going to drop points, but I think we're going to drop points. If I could live in a makeshift world, even if it was this peak and I could say, you know, Arsenal could go on a run here, we're not going to lose. City, it is what it is. Then I might have a bit more optimism. That can't be said. We went out, big up Dapo as well. We went out to Bayern. They told us X factors. Followed that up with signing no attackers in 2024-25, Noni and Gyökeres in 25-26. This is why I've got no sympathy for Mikel Arteta, because you signed these guys, bro. Respectfully to these players, you have played with some very good players. You have seen what's required to win a Premier League title. You've worked at City. You wanted to sign these guys. 100-odd million on Kai and Noni. You have to hold that. So if we're going into crunch games, yeah, against City, and Noni's right wing, and Noni gets hooked at halftime, or Kai Havertz, you know, the goal Kai Havertz scored and the chances he missed summed him up. If Kai Havertz is your best striker on paper, I'm even seeing articles coming out that Kai Havertz, Odegaard, and Eze must start every game. Only 2 of the 3 need to start every game, if I'm completely honest. Because there was no point. No, I don't want to hear nothing about Gyökeres, because at the end of the day, you signed him, bro. I don't even want to hear anything about any of these players. I'll criticize them, but you signed them. So at some point, you thought it could bang. So yeah, man. It is what it is. Big up DG. Are you still keeping this manager, bro? It's a non-story. He's got at least a year left on his deal. Mismanaging minutes, playing it safe football when your forwards needed to learn to be brave and become big goal threats. And I would also say the players, because there is a degree. I guarantee, I say this all the time, yeah, even though the game's changed, I guarantee you, as great as Alex Ferguson was, as great as Arsene Wenger was, as great as Jose, Conte, Klopp, any of them, and their tactics made the difference. Their tactics might have bailed their players out. There's an element of players need to bail out the gaffer. And what I mean by that is sometimes you got to say, fuck what the coaching staff is saying. I'm him. And if I'm really critical, Mikel Arteta, Gyökeres needed to come on sooner. But I don't even want to make it about Gyökeres. I don't. It's that Eze substitution. You didn't let your nuts hang. It was becoming a part where maybe a bit of individual brilliance. You never know. Eze hit the post. You never know. What we do know is what we've seen in it. So there you have it. Wolves, Bournemouth, these are the types of drop points that put us in this scenario. And even that, Obviously, to be honest, let's have it right. Bournemouth at home was probably the worst of the 30 odd games. That's the worst we've played. Like, regardless of the context, that is the worst we've played from we've gone on a pitch, right? But even Bournemouth, we beat them at their place. You should have been like, fucking hell, that was a lucky one. So alarm bell should be ringing when you're playing the second leg. You have to learn from your own mistakes. You got out of jail against Wolves at home. Look at away. Got out of jail against Bournemouth away. Look what you did at home. And I know you can't win them all. And if do you know what? There's obviously more games that are frustrating, yeah? If there was one game that really frustrates me, it's the same thing for the last 3 years that really pisses me off. Stamford Bridge. So this is why I always say compartmentalize things. And this is why you need to take points and give yourself that buffer. But yeah, man, they're writing off Burnley. There's no point watching that. If you wake up one day and you see Burnley took something off City, great stuff. But I don't want to hear about that. We was 9 points clear. Havertz came into the team. We dropped points. Odegaard comes back, lost his first game back. Favourites at it again. I'm not going to lie. I'm not blaming Odegaard. I don't think anyone can be genuinely dishonest about Odegaard against City. He's probably one of his best. Not that he's been amazing. He's been stop-starting injuries. One of his best starting performances for Arsenal. But I do make you right in what you're trying to say. And also, I would say for Mikel Arteta, obviously, you got to live or die by your decisions. But this is why, for not even just this year, winning League Cups, advancing in other trophies. Yes, there would still be talking points, but you give yourself a bit of breathing room. And this is what I mean by, if you believed it, if you had, don't want to make this about him because he's kind of irrelevant, but you played Kepa in the final, what happened? You played him in the Southampton game, what happened? And I think it's a cop out to just solely blame him. But you're in the FA Cup, which at the time, I remember saying after the game, you told me that you're prioritizing the champs. Are you making the right decisions for Arsenal Football Club? Or are you making them for you directly or indirectly? Whether you rate Kepa and you want, for the team and all of that. First final in 6 years, you play second choice keeper. Yes, I know they play Trafford. Let's cut the crap. Trafford is several levels above, my man. Let's not be silly. Let's not be silly. We still need to prepare for both eventualities, win every game and score as many goals as we can. That way we have a real shot at winning. 100%, but there's nothing new there. Whether we're able to score goals or not, do we really think our club, regardless, and I've clearly been critical on the players and Mikel Arteta, do we really think in any game we're not going out there, one, to win? We can criticize our approach, but one, to win, and naturally to score as many goals as humanly possible. So that was something that's already well spread. And even that, if we really wanted to say, you know what, not only do we want to win every game and what comes with that, we want to score a bunch of goals. Arteta has to rewrite his own philosophy then. Is he going to do that now? The criticism of Kai and Odegaard is a bit frustrating. Genuinely two of our best players, despite certain moments on Sunday. Can't say they didn't stand up to be counted, which is true. But then at the same time, we know what we're going to get from them. It's a fallacy. If people think Kai Havertz is going to lead us to glory, it's a fallacy. It's a fallacy. These players can chip in and stuff. And this ain't me being negative. I am one of them boys. But this ain't me being positive or negative. This is just basic competencies, bro. Like, it's just basic competencies. If there's a fat you in a school race, I'm not being harsh to him and slandering him about his weight. You can't run, blood. Like, why can't we just be honest? This is what I mean about the Mighty Ducks thing. And it's looking like the ending of Mighty Ducks, or what's that film? Coach Carter. You got to be cruel to be kind. We're not just the players that helped us rebuild this club, the players that helped us get top four, the players that helped us in our first title challenge are not necessarily going to be the players that help you in the second year and the third year. And if you obviously go and win it and then retain it, and the players that helped you establish some level of domestic dominance, quote unquote, they might not be the guys that help you go and win a Champions League or whatever. So yeah, can Arsenal win the Champions League if we beat Bayern in the final? On paper, no, but if you're in the final, give it a go. And even that, players, I know it's a different game and a different context, but the players, I don't feel none of you put the team on your back enough. I don't think enough of you say fuck the tactics. I feel a lot of you have been very inconsistent. I feel a lot of you have talked the talk but not walked the walk. And I do extend this to the gaffer, but I have to relate to the players. When it's sink or swim, I don't see it from you, man. And if I'm completely honest, I do think you don't have an improved mentality. I don't think, when we ain't got no cojones and we're a soft touch and we're this and that, I don't think it's that Arsenal anymore. But you lot are not nasty. You're not ruthless. It's too kumbayari. Some of you have some of you are exceptions to this rule, actually. I think a couple of you, Gabriel comes to mind. And I'm not saying you have to be a mad bastard all the time and being a bit of a bully, but Gabriel comes to mind. Hincapié comes to mind. Saliba comes to mind. bit different. Declan Rice, stop being nice to everyone, but Declan Rice, David Raya comes to mind. He can't get a look in the side. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I know his first touch and he might be ugly. Gyökeres comes to mind. I actually think it's very different in terms of coolness of mind. Eze comes to mind. Timber comes to mind. But I'm not saying that about all you, man. And if I'm really, they're the ones I think, but if I'm really looking at it, there's not enough bastards. Cherky's a bastard. Haaland's a bastard. Rodri's a bastard. Bernardo Silva is the biggest of bastards. Everyone in the invincible side, and any time that Arsenal have ever won something was a cunt. The same goes for the City sides. The same goes for the Chelsea sides. The same goes for the Man United sides. I'm sorry, but this is elite sport. This ain't a kumbaya thing. Everybody gets a prize. So, yeah, man. Is Zubimendi not following runners? But again, why have you built the side that you're not comfortable enough to take Rice or Zubimendi? Mainly Zubi, because no one ain't taking Rice out the side. You don't trust Norgard for whatever reason. It's not my job to know why you don't trust him. I don't know what's going on in training. Maybe if I could have a conversation with Mikel Arteta, I might agree. You bought him. You bought him. This is what I mean by we make our own issues. At the end of the day, you cannot stand in the rain and complain you're wet. And that's what we've been doing. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And that's why hopefully there's a miracle. But we are on course to have another year of the same where it starts in August, it ends in May. There's good moments, there's bad moments. There's, we go on these mad runs. But ultimately, you're not doing this. And that's what you lot wanted. Forget the fans. You can never forget the fans. But forget the fans. That's what you lot wanted, Because you lot are going to have to sit there at some point, like you've done in the last 3 years, apologies, in domestic competitions and the two big ones, and say, oh, fucking hell. We've all been there when you've lost a trophy or whatever. You're all sat there, you're like, oh, no, it's gone now. Is what, isn't it? No other top side bar Spurs would be in this predicament, being too defensive and risk averse, overplaying certain players, and poor in-game management led to us likely coming second for the fourth time. I don't even care about if it can't go down the left, go down the right, side to side, backwards. You need to be able to do that. The difference is it doesn't change. There's also the same. My problem becomes with, okay, I understand we need to do that, but when man need to let their nuts hang and maybe gamble, fuck it, we're taking off a left or right back. There's an extra attacker out there. We might get hit. You get where I'm going. When it needs to change, we haven't done that. There's not enough little small things. I'll tell you, unfortunately, you have to be forced to do things. You were forced to really play Smith Rowe and Denman there at the time. When Miles Lewis-Skelly and Wanyeri came through, you was forced to do that. You was forced to even run the Kai and Gyökeres thing. You've been forced to do a lot of these things. And when you're forced to do it, it means you don't want to do it for whatever reason. It does not change. Still not able to break down low blocks. And I'm not making out it's mad easy, but reality is whether I think it's easy or not, has that not, including this year, have we not talking about that for 3 years? It's not my job to know how to fix that. And I think a lot of people are dishonest because whether I think he's the guy to get us over the line, I actually rate your philosophy broadly and how you approach football and what you've done at this football club, Mikel Arteta. And I rate these players. I'm not saying we're the biggest and baddest. So then you lot should be feeling how I feel. Because I do think there's sections of Arsenal fans that you want to gas them and then you want to find excuses. Yes, we can sit down and talk about context, but at the end of the day, sink or swim. Man are telling me a few weeks ago about, but in the 80s we did this. Bro, it's not the fucking 80s and these players are not them. Stop taking the piss. Some of you just like the journey. And that's cool. We all watch football for different reasons. We've never been that club that just wins and wins and wins. But would it not be fair to say it's a damn fucking shame that in the last 4 years, we've not done that? Big up the galley, big up the under-15s who won a cup in China. There's still a parade in May. Am I shameless? Yes. As I said, broski, subbing off Eze is a dickhead tick to me. Because he was getting in the groove, he's dropping his shoulders, he's hit the poles. You need them kind of man out there, bro. Of course, if Kai scores, it's a different game. But what did I just say there? If that's the things we keep talking about. If this happens, if that doesn't happen, if this happens. Same things we said against Paris Saint-Germain. Same things we said when games have gone left. So, yeah, man. Big up, DG. This collapse has been coming. Played too much football. Players are wrecked. We did not have the legs to go for 4 comps. Maybe one day we'll prioritize the PL over-ish like the EFL. I hear that, but, bro, people, not saying you, people weren't saying that, though. People were talking about our B team can get top 4 and all of these kind of things. And we know the ambition of every team that is in, whether you're in one competition or 4, you want to compete. Obviously, at some point, you might have to prioritize and whatnot, but it's not an excuse because you've actually done quite well. FA Cup's a write-off, but you was technically one step away from Wembley, 2 games away from being in the FA Cup. You got to the League Cup final. You're into another semi-finals of the Champions League. And although I'm vexed and mathematically it's gone, at this moment in time, the 21st of April, you're still top. So you can compete in top 4 in 4 competitions. You can. Winning it's another thing, but you can compete. But then also we've shot ourselves in the foot. Can't always blame the manager and whatnot for the injuries and things like that. But you've got more players. We'll still have it. We've got more players. We've been dealing with injuries since August. I'll give you the luxury. Some people came into the season with injuries and whatnot, and injury prone, quote unquote. We came from August to now. We've been dealing with injuries, and we've been making it happen. And now we've got into this April period where again the physical conditioning. And again, whether the manager can be directly, indirectly blamed, fully to blame, not to blame. Unfortunately, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is the nature of the business. It comes with you. People were saying Pep Guardiola needs to leave City. They're not saying that now. They're not sitting there and talking about this defender, that defender, the players, whatever. This is the nature of the business. If we're all business owners, yeah, let's just say I'm the DG Nation, I'm the CEO. Okay, I'm the CEO, I'm the boss, I'm the gaffer, yeah. You lot all work for me in whatever role you want. A couple of you are finance, your HR. Marcel, you're just a nitty we give £1 to show that we do things for charity. But let's just say that's the case, yeah. And let's just say I'm in the office 1 day a week. If I could trust you lot to do your jobs and we're printing money and we're making things happen, great. But you see, if I'm not there and we're failing, it's still my fault. I employed you lot. I put you lot in those positions. Like I might not be directly to blame, but indirectly I am. Everything is my fault. In the same way, if you're an owner, I don't even listen. I don't want to hear about the Cronky thing and all of that stuff. But indirectly, it's your fault. So yeah, man. It is what it is. Forget the walk more. These players are winning the league if another manager is managing them, potentially. DG, I'm worried about next season. The World Cup, summer transfers will stress me off a cliff. Why worry about what you can't control, man? When it comes, we'll speak about them. Let me ask, bro, if Klopp was managing this team in the last 2 years, we've got 2 titles. Like, I'm not even trying to diss Arteta. Let's just be brutally honest. I even think for all of Slot's criticisms, yeah, the fact that he's won a league title, people can say it's Holland, yeah. There's certain competencies he showed last season. There had to have been some point of, bro, we got opportunity. Let me run with this. I do think there's been an air of indirect complacency because, unfortunately, I do think about my football club, players, manager included, and some fans. There's always tomorrow, and there is always tomorrow. As long as the good Lord wakes you up, you've always got a chance. But it's always about tomorrow. Seize the fucking present. The past brings many a regret at this football club. The future brings many uncertainty. We don't know what the footballing landscape's going to be like. You don't seize the present. Whatever man say about Slot, he seized the present. Whatever people say about any teams that are currently in domestic or international trophies, they've seized the present. Whatever people say about them lot down the road, in terms of winning that trophy against Man United, they seized the present. Newcastle the same. Crystal Palace the same. We didn't seize the present moment. And on top of that, one thing that I feel is not really applicable to Manchester City, if I'm honest, the performance against City. 9 times out of 10, I don't think we left it all out there. I'm not saying they didn't turn up. I just feel we didn't leave it all out there. I think I keep doing the same thing where Southampton, City ×2, Bournemouth, rightly so, their tactics, their managers, their players, all the credit to you lot, innit? You lot did things and I've been envious of those things. But then I'm looking at my players and saying, and my gaffer, and like, we shouldn't have been here. City, to a degree, I could say, the performance, I could say, you know what, fair play. Because Arteta, I'm not going to lie, again, I keep talking about the first half. If that approach was there in certain other games earlier in the season, we might have got slapped. But at least you're trying different things. It shouldn't have to get to this. But it has. DG, you're the only positive Arsenal fan I like because you don't mind. I don't think I'm positive or negative. Like, it's just me, man. I appreciate you regardless, though. But yeah, Klopp wins that, bro. And this is what I say about Arteta, because this is what I mean by the Arteta apologies. You don't rate him as much as I do. I think he's one of the best upcoming managers. I think there's times where he could have, should have, and other contexts would have been sacked. I don't think he's done everything perfect. I think he's shown big bollocks to take this job. If he left today compared to when he walked in, we're in a much better position. You've gone toe-to-toe in the Premier League and in Europe with some of the best managers. And whether we've won, lost, or drawn, I've seen certain things. So this is why I'm saying, if I think this about you, like, If I think, and I do think you'll win stuff in your career, I only care if you do it at Arsenal. And that's another thing. I don't want you just to keep learning things at this football club and go elsewhere and try things and we're left in the lurch. This is what I mean about they clearly don't rate him. Because if you believe this, and some of them go a bit more bullish than these statements, and you believed in the team, and you say we've been one of the best teams in the Prem, and we've been fair enough, we've been second, so we've been consistent for 3 years and being second. We're closer to getting over the line than the other way. You should be asking it's a fair question every time you fell. Even what I just said, not to say we're the biggest and baddest, but are we the reason that we're not top and flying at this moment? Are we the reason we didn't do what Liverpool did and fly last season with it? Did we shoot ourselves 23, 24, several occasions, but you run it down to the last day of the year? 2022, 23, I even allow you a lot of bit. First year, still remember how we got shagged against Brentford. See what I'm saying? We've been close, but too far. And this is what I mean. Arteta, you've shown me you're a good coach, but you've not shown me you're a winner. Yes, you don't know how I'm a philosophical guy, and winners are those that get up every day with the desire. You're not a winner right now, bro. And I said it in the start of the season, and I'm going to say it again. Every time that you don't win, the question is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And at some point, the buck has to be with the gaffer, because you have to be like, right, Berta's come in different place. Even people are, hindsight's 2020, innit? But people are even doing was our summer really as good as we thought? I think yes and no. You lot know how vexed I was about not bringing in 2 central midfielders, regardless of Norgard, not bringing in a left winger. Look how long it took to get something out of, and the players have to take accountability, but look how long it took for the gaffer to get something out of Eze properly, Gyökeres properly. And this is what I mean when I say we stand in the rain and complain we're wet. We've been reeled in by City, now we're level, and now we're optimistic about catching up when we couldn't stay far ahead, always Arsenal. We're our own best friends, and we're also our worst enemies, man. I think man for man, City are actually clear. 100%. The only Arsenal player that would get into their side is Saliba, and Timber Rice gets in, but I hear your point. Magalhaes gets in. I don't know what you expect, especially a striker it's not like it's fucking Thierry Henry or something. Like, what do you expect's going to happen, fam? So Arteta has to hold it. If these things work out, if there's another world where Kai was the best thing since sliced bread, Noni Madueke is amazing. I see why you're not utilizing MLS in midfield or Norgard. I'd say fair play. But we always gamble on mediocre talent, bro. We're like, I'm no transfer man or whatever, but how long have I been waffling on my channel about Turkey? I don't want to bring up Arsene Wenger, but this is why I made that short. Wenger, chat to your boy, bro. That was 30-odd million quid. I know people look at City's transfers, it's low fees and it's ridiculous wages. And if I'm completely honest with you, January, what could happen is 2 Januaries in a row, you think, well, could you have got another player in? Could be worse. Chelsea will get a ban if they fail to qualify for the champs. They need that money bad. Well, I don't know. Therefore, the pressure and expectations has changed our mindset. As I said, tried every style of football to win, and now the ultra defensive and control style is failing because we can't buy a goal. Then Arteta's going to have to go, then, innit? Like, and the players are going to have to go, bro. I'll be real. If you can't hack the pressure, you need to fuck off respectfully. You have to, in the most nicest way. You have to. The same for you. Then, with the 3rd biggest club in the land, we ain't won a Prem in 20+ years. We're in a deficit in the last 6 years of silverware. Actually, rate a lot of what's going on. And on top of that, fairly or a lot of the time unfairly, we're one of the most, I don't know the word, but spoken about in the media, like always kind of, if you cannot hack it, you need to cut, bro. Like, there's no worries. If you can't hack it, what are we doing it? City were well rested, and you can tell, but it is what it is, man. Brentford draw, Wolves draw, Liverpool draw, Forest draw. I even forget about that. Man United lost, Sunderland draw. These are the games that lost us the title, not City. Exactly. And sometimes a lot of, don't get twisted, in the games you said, in the games I've said, sometimes I think it's more on the players. Sometimes I think it's more on the manager. Sometimes I think the players fucked up in the first half, gaff for second half. But again, my point being, we're all in this together, innit? There's no point me going slating Noni and Kai because there's 9 other players out there. Like, it's dead. It sounds great. It gets views, but it don't really make sense to me personally. Martinelli has 1 goal. Bro, the attack is shit. Like, some manager shit. Some of the tactics have clipped their wings. Certain players that we actually rate haven't done the job. Let's have it right. It's just this is why it's not just one single ingredient. It's just it's like a mixture of things, bro. And this is, again, until you get over the line, you might have been, Wenger was the guy, paid off the bills to allow the Emirates to thrive. You've come in, taking it up a level, And next man might have to come in. I hope you can get over the line, Gaffer. But this is what I mean. Until we get over the line, you have to be on everything. And people are reluctant to change. I know we had Wenger for many years, and fans older than me would know we've never been that club that chop and change. I'm not even saying that's the thing you have to do. But at some point, you have to consider the future, bro. Big up DG. Hope springs eternal. But how many times do you have to go through this? If I had the answers, I'd love it, man. I'd love to tell you. The decisions Arteta makes will determine our season. I said that at the start of the season, and we're seeing it now. There you have it. You guys have to stand up and get this man out of this club. If you keep being indifferent, nothing will happen unless y'all want him to stay. Bro, their club's going to do what they want, bro. It's true, DG. We don't have a prick who will stand up no matter what. No one is ruthless in our team. We have a couple, but I should be looking around and seeing everything. My thing is, though, DG, is that our fans will always call on these same players, but Gabriel the disaster, and this energy is not the same. Was poor against Southampton, Bournemouth, and the final two. You know how people do it. It's the same old guys, bro. Like, it's the same. When I always try and judge it on when somebody plays well, praise them. When they play shaky, ask questions. We all know everything's Noni's fault. Everything's Kai's fault. Odegaard's mad shit. This one, that one. And that's like I said, it sounds great. You throw in that we spent £1 billion and whatnot, rightly or wrongly. It sounds great. Look like the Oracle. The rivals love you. There's never going to be equality and fairity in it. There's no back to winning with. I'm encouraged by the performance to think that you can win against Newcastle. Whether that equates to momentum and winning all the games and all of that, I don't know. But the performance, that needed to be there in the final, but it needed to be there. It needed to be there against Southampton. It needed to be there against Bournemouth. It's too little too late for me. But yeah, performance, should be able to get 3 points. I don't want to hear nothing about blaming Berta, bro, because this is the guys he wanted. And if anything, Arteta should be thanking Berta because you wanted Howson. We pivoted 30 million quid on Mascara. Whether you wanted, man, keep talking like he wanted Sesko. You don't know that you weren't there. Maybe we wanted Sesko because we're chasing him for time. Maybe it was a thing where Arteta pivoted and said, I wanted Gyökeres. Maybe it was a case of you get Gyökeres or you get nobody. Maybe Arteta said, you know, it's not my cup of tea, but I can make it work. And again, I'm going to say the example I said yesterday. For Mikel Arteta, in terms of his own evolution, you need to kind of removing Arsenal and looking at you. There's certain things in your own coaching thing. You're going to have to learn how to deal with players that have X factor and a bit of an attitude and a chip on their shoulder, because typically they're the best players in football. Forget the accolades and experience and the obvious that these guys are above Mikel Arteta, but Luis Enrique and Pep can do that. I said it yesterday. There's 3 players in that City side. Very different example, but 3 players in that City side, yeah, that at some point in Klopp's managerial career, he wouldn't have looked at. Donnarumma, quality keeper, ball playing, which is central to Pep Guardiola, and in the modern game, he's not going for him. At some point, he said, you know what? Meet me halfway, I'll meet you halfway. Obviously, Haaland's a world-class striker and anomaly, but on paper, not the facilitative striker that you would expect from Pep Guardiola. Meet me halfway, I'll meet you halfway. Ryan Cherky, maverick, will lose the ball, will piss you off, will do disrespectful things. Pep probably pulls what's left of his hair out because there's things he probably despises about Cherky. That's what he fucking loves about him. Meet me halfway. I'm tired of this. That if it's not an Arteta player, because what do you think's gonna happen? There's been times Arteta's drawn a lot of blood from stones of this football club before we got into this climate where there's money to spend. The bulk of the build up, the rebuild is done. I don't want to hear it, bro. Don't want to hear it. Because if Gyökeres is, I don't think Gyökeres is the problem, but if Gyökeres is the problem and cool Arteta, you don't want to change how you play, then fucking bring in another striker. Gyökeres mix and blend in the squad. Bring a left winger, bring a striker, bring a centre mid, and stop fucking about. I said it in the summer, as happy as I was about Eze, happy to just have a striker in Gyökeres. I told you that I don't feel the same way about us bringing in attackers as I do defensively. Defensively, Arteta, you've shown me the ethos. We could probably take some shit defenders, then they'll look a bit better. And some of our defenders that are poor, if they were, or good, they could go into some other teams and you'll see fragilities. Why? Because there's an ethos. Attack, it was never as white and black. You've not seen anything to suggest. It's not like we create a million chances, man, I'm missing chances. And you can say, all right, cool, better creative mid, better striker, better left winger. Do you get where I'm going? You knew this wasn't going to be the thing. So you need to find a way to play Gyökeres and Kai, to play Eze and Odegaard. Fair enough, Eze's had knocks. You need to do this. And on top of that, you know this as well because you have seen City win trophies. You were there, bro. I can't even contemplate another season of this football. It has to go. Regardless of how good or bad we are, I'm always going to follow this football club, mate. Big up DG. The narrative comes back and it's on the gaffer. Since the start of the year till mid-March, we're playing quicker and VG scored, then went back sideways and backwards, slowing, passing and regressing. Now, and even that, if you drop Gyökeres now where he's in a good moment and he's scoring goals for Kai because he fits your ethos, you have to bloody well make it work. It's as simple as that. It was never as white and black. And even that, I'm not even dissing Gyökeres. You could slap Gyökeres in some other teams in this Premier League, those below us, you would see, not saying he would look world-class or look like Erling Haaland, but you would see a different Gyökeres. Because you can't tell me you slap Julian Alvarez or Isaac or any of these guys. Obviously, General played them and are better than Gyökeres at it. But you can't tell me you slap them up front for Arsenal Football Club right now and they're bagging goals. Or if they're bagging goals, they're not bagging goals to the standard they could. Please don't take me for a dickhead. Wait, did I see someone's a striker to assist his coaches treat you badly, huh? Gyökeres has deficiencies, but guaranteed he would perform better under an attacking-minded manager. He's top scorer with this shoddy style of play, so imagine him in an attacking side. Bro, there's nothing to praise the gaffer about, bro. Like, we know what you're good at. We know what we need to do. We know we're struggling in it. No one's done anything pride-worthy. And in my 31 years, as much as I give you your fair criticisms and your fair praise, none of you have done. When the gaffer comes out and says it's unprecedented and we ain't done this before, I know he's referring to 2 semi-finals in 140 years, more points than the Invincibles. You know, all of them kind of statistics that are relevant but irrelevant. They're relevant to me because it reflects we're a good team. They're irrelevant to me because I'm not interested in that. The only stats I need is top of the Prem. Have you won some domestic cups? Have you won the Champions League, etc.? Because that is taking us from being a competitive and a good side, which we are right now, into a great one. Because you haven't done anything I haven't seen. I've seen us win the league. Have you won it? Fair enough, 2 semi-finals, but have we won it? I've seen us win multiple FA Cups. I've seen us do it back-to-back. How many times have you done it? And I'm saying this to the players in the gaffer. None of you have achieved nothing I ain't seen in my 31 years. So you imagine people older walk on. So yeah, man. I align with DG's opinion on Arteta and Arsenal, bro. I rate the manager, but this isn't good enough right now. It's not. I think you mean now or never for these, man. Holy this should have been there. City have killers, bro. But again, you know what you're getting into. Did we start with a cool? People probably didn't think City would have another flat season potentially, but you know what City, you know what Pep and these players are capable of. Everybody says the Premier League, every game's a cup final. We know what we needed to address. This is what I mean. I've learned nothing new. Like, none of this, I'm not saying you or attacking you, but none of this is news to me. Like, none of this is news to me. What? Like, everyone developed amnesia. Because even going back to what we said at the start of the live stream, man are talking about our goal difference. Yeah, we can keep goals out the back of our net more likely than City. Whether we can at this moment in time is another thing, but we can barely string together attacking phases of play and 3 points at the moment. And man are talking about if we win 3-4, 5-0. I get it, it's copium. And the theory behind it makes sense. But when you break it down, it's nonsense. The project was done 2 years ago, bro. The project was done 2 years ago. Bro, we robbed our own chain. We had a big Rolex, big face, nice chain. We're walking down some dodgy street in London. We're surprised the hyenas have schemed and they've robbed us. We're like, what's going on? Jarring. Bro, Balogun's not the answer. Based on current form of our midfielders, which 3 will you start against Newcastle? If it's up to me, they're gonna do the physical thing, innit? If it's up to me, you know what? Fuck it, man. Like Eze, Odegaard, Rice. That's where I'm at. But we know it's gonna be the same midfield 3. Eze probably goes on the left, and the only thing I'd say about Eze on the left is, like, I don't get to see Trossard and Martinelli. Which Martinelli, I think, to be fair, like I said, I've criticised them both. I think Trossard first half of the season was, by his own standards, magical. That's the only surprise I've seen in attack. How Trossard was moving. And to a degree, Martinelli as an impact sub. I'll be fair though. Martinelli, you stunk up the place off the bench. I think Trossard, since the turn of the year, you've been shit. I actually think you tried to do a thing against City, and I feel, I actually feel you should have had an assist. I'm sure it was you put the ball over the top where Kai Havertz and Koznorov had that coming together. Odegaard and Eze, I will cut you that to Mikel Arteta in that. Odegaard season's been stop-start. There's been injuries. You did try to run it against West Ham. In fact, you did run it against West Ham. Odegaard got injured again. But do you remember, like, not Kai's header, but there was an opportunity. I'm sure Eze and Odegaard linked up. I think Odegaard even had the last pass. It's gone to Kai. He tried to have an extra touch. And I can't even get at Kai. You're not clinical, bro. You're not going to get to where we need to with Kai leading the line on a consistent basis. Unless you've got two monsters, two robots that are going to do the Mane, the Salah, like them kind of numbers either side. It's a myth. And even that, Gaffer, I'm looking at you, whatever I think about Gyökeres, I'm looking at you funny if you need another striker then. Because I've just alluded to it's not black and white that you get another striker and it's great. But if you need another striker on top of a left wing and a centre mid, and we definitely need a defender, then I wouldn't say Arteta's tactically clueless, but he shoots himself in the fucking foot, man. Yeah, all this leaving talk it's tired, man. Big up DJ. I don't see us catching City run away with it. I kind of believe that as well. Well, I do believe it. Let's be clear. Kai got lucky with that goal. He's not clinical in front of goal, and Glock is inconsistent. My question is, where are the goals coming from? Every player needs to raise their levels, which is true. But this is why I tell fans, because you lot have been saying, not you, but people have been saying this since that 2022-23 season. Oh, we've got goals from all over, and it's, the burden's not on one goal scorer. I agree with the premise. I agree with the ambition, and you are right. But the devil is in the details. This is the 4th year in a row where I've sat here and I've said, we know we're going to score goals. I'm sure if I look we're not top, but Premier League, all competitions, domestic trophies, we've probably been one of the highest goal scorers relative to all 4 of them. So, and this is probably another year we've got 100 goals. I know we're going to score goals, but who's going to get the goals? You're surprised and not surprised when man score or don't score. The only thing that shocked me this season in attack is Trossard's form first half of the year. Saka's probably older stinky season, but Saka's stinking up the gaff. Not really to the same level, but Martinelli had 1-2 decent impacts off the bench and whatnot. Other than that, dead, isn't it? There's more questions than answers. I said that in August. There's even more questions than answers. Listening to this is just peeing me off. Then you're going to have to just go outside, man. You're going to have to go somewhere where they do the mad negative thing, the mad positive thing, or wherever, innit? I thought we had turned the corner and started playing well after the Leverkusen home game. Then Eze got injured. Arteta defaulted back to safety ball. We have lost 4 games in 7. Again, you haven't stopped the rut. There's also that as well where you just hit the buffers. You need to pattern up. Tired with Gyökeres haters. They want Kai to be the saviour when he's not been that. Then let Gyökeres go on loan to another team like Coventry, which plays counters. Then he'll shut them up. He's not tricky, but box. I'm not sure on the rest, man. I've got no problem with you being stubborn in life. You have to be. Life is hypocritical. You have to be stubborn, but you also have to be able to change. There's no way you need to change. And for me, it's easy for me to say I'm a stubborn cunt as well. But I know that if I'm doing something the same ways, it will take me time. It takes me time to clock things. But when I do clock it, I change. You ain't clocked it. So now you're telling me that I think it's more arrogance. Where I know more about ball than you. Like, what you do, I'm committing to this. This is how I want to play. This is how I'm going to play. To which I say, fair enough. If you get over the line, it works. If it don't, I have to ask questions. I think that's more than fair. Personally, I don't know what's wrong with that. The fans need to step up when we lose the league and out of the champs. Less of that. The fans need to call for Arteta's head and not be happy clappers like that. Hey, man, listen, big up everyone. I don't really care about what other people are doing, man. Allow me with that. Again, this ain't the platform for that. I care about myself and you lot. We're talking about football. I don't care what other Arsenal fans, big accounts, small accounts, what they're doing. I don't care about no saviors, bro. I always say on this platform, I don't tell you what to think, just think. Everyone think for themselves, we're great. Started watching in the 69s, 6 league titles, 10 FA Cups, Fairs Cup, European Cup winners. Well, you actually saw Arsenal win a cup, man, in Europe. Crazy. European Cup winners, Invincibles. Why should I be bothered about Arteta non-winner? Shouldn't tap up Alonso or Guardiola. You're defo dream chasing. Pep is going to add the PL title and FA Cup along with the Carling Cup. If I'm Pep, I'm cutting then. In my worst year, well, maybe last year was worse, but in my worst year, I've done a domestic treble. I'm out of it. Safe. DJ, why did Eze pull off from the challenge header that led to the first goal? I don't know, but when I was on TalkSport, I was pissed off with that. And as a team, pardon me, you're conceding some cheap goals. Man are not following runners. Man are doing what you just said there. It's jarring, bro. It's jarring. It's jarring. DG, we talk a lot of mentality players. Do you think our fans are mentally strong enough to see through a title W or L on goal difference? I'll be honest, I don't really care, bro. Fans are like family members, innit? Like, and if I just use fans, there's some fans that have got the heart for this, that ain't got it, that love negativity, that have positivity. You know, them football fans that I don't know how to explain it, but you can see evident cracks in the armor, but we're winning games, they're great. Sometimes your team might be losing 10 in a row, but the performances are positive and they're doing the most, like they're just wherever their emotions. I don't care, bro. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to, but it's down to the players and the gaffer now, man. Because I do feel like some sections, there's a reluctance to criticize the manager. You will attack fans and gaslight fans and this player and that player and this and that, apart from the manager. You can't rest on your nose. Certain man cut more excuses. Like, I wish there's some people, yeah, that you see the like people that are overly negative on Arteta. I hope you're as critical of yourself. And for the people that cut every excuse, I hope people that you actually know, because Arteta's a stranger, you don't know him from nowhere. You don't know him from nowhere. What if you don't like your name? Like, I hope you lot cut as much excuses for this guy as you do as people in your personal life. Because I think I've been more than fair. The fair quote unquote excuses I'll give you them. There's many I think that's unexcusable. So yeah, man, smash the likes if you haven't. We have half our team fit. Gordon wants out. Tonali wants out. Fans want Howe out. Has to be dominant win for you lot. No excuses. We just need 3 points, man. Foxy, no one don't care about that. To win the EPL, you need someone to get 20 non-penalty goals. And even that, if you don't have the Mo Salahs, the Salahs or Mo Salahs and the Haalands and whatnot, it's easy for me to say, but football's also quite predictable and it's based on probabilities. You need to create more chances. Like, you need to create more chances. Beans on toast, one love. And one thing that's starting to annoy me, granted, the landscape of football, there isn't much space, but we're able to count on one hand the amount of chances we've had. I'm able to vividly remember, like, Kai's had 2, Gabriel Magalhaes had 1, Eze's hit the post. I might have missed one out, but we're able to remember the 3-4 chances a game, man. People are not realizing how dark next season will be. Players have already been run into the ground and they're coming out of a World Cup after coming second 4 times in a row, mentally cooked. Tomorrow's problems. I think DG should be manager. You know, want me out, mate. It's easy for me to be an armchair expert. But yeah. So yeah, man. I cannot listen to fans who are too one-sided. Neither can I. Especially when there's no reason to be mad one-sided. Like, if we were relegation, then there's only one side to be in it. Like, wish it, man have to be negative. If we was Real Madrid combined with Man City, we're winning everything, 3-peat, dominating, anything you want, you name it, invincible, again, all of that stuff. And you can only be positive. Where Arsenal has been a mixed bag for 3 years, 4 including now. And it's annoying because you can see it. We could all, like, or definitely on this platform, we could see this coming. Like, you could see this coming. That's why we were so critical on winning certain games. So yeah, man. For a team trying to win the league and we only have one attacker with 10 plus goals. And again, even that, I'll tell you, you haven't pivoted away. How many times, yeah, rightly or wrongly, right? How many times have you seen Odegaard, Timber/White and Saka start together this season? Football is also about relationships. You haven't seen anything to mitigate against that. Hincapié is doing his thing, but Calafiori was playing out of his... Calafiori first half of the season was probably... Calafiori and Trossard, they were kind of like our players of the season type shit. What solution has been found there? If nothing changes, nothing changes, you know? Reckon Arteta attempts to attack the Champions League with Sunday's game plan, which was... I don't mind that, because you do see that a lot. PSG did it, Bayern did it. I think Arteta... Well, it's different, but I've said it before. I think Arteta's got the... Everybody's involved in it, but the players have to win me. The players have to win me the Champions League. Arteta has to win me the Premier League, in it. Obviously, reliant on City dropping points. So what I mean by that is, from a coaching and tactical element, we can cope with PSG. Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid. Whether we win is another thing. I'm not suggesting that, but we can cope. But them, man, are levels, if not above us tactically, and their individuals are purring to the point where we could be against Atletico Madrid. We're actually the best team. It's second leg. Let's just say the first leg ends 0-0. We're the best team for 89 minutes in the second leg. We're dominating. Their keeper's doing madness. One chance falls to Julian Alvarez, bang. I can't guarantee my attackers are going to be able to just bail us out like that. And in the Premier League, obviously the players have to stand up to be count. But I'll tell you, I feel a lot more pissed off with you than the players. So yeah, man. You think the rules will change? Rules always gonna change. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. This was us last year. We only had Marino. We've not learned from our mistakes. We can do the kumbaya crap as much as we want. You've not learned from your mistakes. Yeah, man. At this point, there ain't nothing more to say if I'm completely honest with you. So with that being said, we've been here for an hour. I'll link up with you lot tomorrow, innit, people? So yeah, smash the like button if you haven't. All we can do is control the controllables, and that's attempt to win every game. Easier said than others, and just hope that City fuck up, which I can't. I'm not even trying to give you hope. The reality is, man, just need to win games, innit, and hope for something, because I can see City dropping at least anything from 1 to 3 more points. The problem is, I can also see Arsenal doing that, if not more. So, yeah, do we beat City if Marino's fit? It's not as white and black as that, my boy. It's not as white and black as that. But if we're going to take the lazy view, I must admit, that last-minute header, I do think Marino scores in it. So if life is a bit basic like that, then we at least get a point. But that's all ifs, that, and maybes. And it's always the players that are not involved that are seen as the messiahs. Throughout this season, last season, season before that, even our best players, fully fit squads, you've been part of shitness. And even that, depleted squad clearly, and we didn't win clearly. But that was one of our best performances this season, if I'm completely honest, in the Premier League, from what I wanted to see. Was that achieved with our strongest 11 on paper? When we beat Man City last season, battered them even, was that our strongest 11 on paper? Real Madrid, was that our strongest 11 on paper? So on and so forth. A lot of teams, not just Arsenal, there's some of their most standout performances or results have not been achieved with what their fans would say is their strongest 11. And unfortunately, you have to be able to consider this. If everybody's fit, purring, in great form, great. That's not how life works. You also have to be able to get over the line when there's injuries, when there's suspensions. This one's feeling sorry for himself. This one's form shit. We've hit a bit of a rut. This is what life is. And this is why you have to be able to thrive through that, because nothing is going to feel better than when you get over the line. But you lot don't want it as much as me. I know you want it. I'm not sitting here and say the players and that don't want it. But from what I've seen, you don't want it enough. Or some of you can't want it enough. And a lot of you, I just feel, don't have it in you. Some of you have got the technical quality. You just don't have it in you, gaffer. You ain't got it in you at this moment in time, unfortunately. It's a sad reality. Sad reality. So, yeah, man, what shall be, shall be. Link up tomorrow, man. You lot, one love. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't.
I think, like...